we have our next speaker, Shweta Thapa, and let me give a brief introduction about her. So, Shweta is a social entrepreneur, mechanical engineer, maker, educator, innovator, working passionately to impart education and improve awareness about design thinking and 3D printing. She is the founder for 3Educators LLC USA, an edtech 3D printing startup, and they are expert in the field of additive manufacturing, um, connecting 3D printing to the multitude of application segments in education, healthcare, jewelry, and architecture. She is also an Udemy 3D instructor who has successfully trained 70 individuals online on design thinking for micro-entrepreneurship across the globe. She has completed her MS in Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering from Rutgers University, New Jersey, USA. She has been an active voice when it comes to the field of innovation and design thinking for the past 10 years, and she has also helped build digital fabrication DIY labs for the schools and maker spaces all over the world. An advocate for women empowerment and STEM learning, additionally the founder of the Art of Making Foundation, which is a global non-profit organization based in India for empowering underserved women and rural artisans with skill set 3D printing training. Over to you, Shweta. Heads up for all the attendees over here. Are you able to see Shweta and can you hear her? Yes. So we got a hands up. I believe you are good to go, Shweta.
Mhm.
After the Joel's
Perfect.
energy, I believe, yeah, you should match his
I believe
energy.
we
I
are
would
all
like,
awake. Joel, thank you so much, Joel. You got the energy moving in the room. That's
yes,
amazing. And you always do that. So
yes.
I loved your session. The topic I'm going to be speaking on is design thinking for rural artisans. And this is especially based on my 1 year journey being in the rural setup. So I will not waste time before my internet breaks out and get started. So, as Swati already has introduced me here, I am a mechanical engineer and a social entrepreneur. So I don't want to go through the whole gist again. You guys can read about it or type me on Google. You can find my other startups and all things I'm passionate about. I'm a 3D printing maniac. I've become like that since the past 10 years now because I love innovating and experimenting, and especially when it comes to making things for people. I'm a very people person. So what I would say about like my past startups, three, these have been like my two babies who are growing right now. I mean, and it's all about STEM, it's all about tinkering, it's all about hands-on learning, and how we can spread this innovation out to the big world. And if you want to connect with me, you can do it via my LinkedIn or my Instagram, whatever works the best for you. So I will get started on with the crux of my life and why I'm doing what I'm doing. So you know how it all began. Last year, March of 2020, we all were in chaos. And especially this footage is from New York, where we were doing the COVID PP campaign and making all these PPE kits because that's the best thing we could do. 3D printing PP for frontline heroes because N95s weren't there. And that was the moment where I realized that 3D printing is such an amazing technology. It can help you make facials, masks, and not just that, disaster relief packages. We led a campaign around it. This was in Maker Depot in New Jersey, and we were distributing out all these supplies to Northwell Health and all the hospitals possible because you never know when the world shuts down on you, even the biggest superpowers can shut down. So that is when the most pertinent question came to me as to why I was there in the United States. What happens if there was no tomorrow? What would be my last wish? And that's where the idea of the India's first 3D school struck me. And along with our collaborators, Swati right here, Kaushik right here, we started chatting about what we can do in India. We have a beautiful lab in Uttarakhand and a whole vocational training mindset. And, we make printers, we make technologies out of printers, we make absolute amazing things, as you see. So, obviously, our organization is the Art of Making Foundation. And I'm really happy that this conference right now is happening for all of us to find a way to connect, to talk, to network, and see all the amazing things that 3D printing is capable of. So, because of the pandemic, we had a lot of restrictions, and most of the times we couldn't step out of our homes. So, we were restricted to our desktops. And that's how our team decided that, we will do these courses online for all those people who love tinkering, who love making, and they cannot find a media. So we started doing these training courses, and with the help of the interns, we fabricated some amazing courses on Udemy. There's an architecture course, there is a kitchenware course, there is a jewelry making course, and we have received such amazing reviews from a lot of folks across the globe. A small thing to us, it might be just like 3D printing an object, but to somebody people on making toys or somebody online courses, we could on-site training in skill set training and doing entrepreneurship courses for girls and women in India who are underserved. They need our help, and we want to continue this as much as possible. So if you get a chance, please take a look, and probably in one of our giveaways, we do have some courses for you. So yeah, so long as you attend and explore, that's the best thing. All right. The other thing that we also have here is what did we do as part of the Art of Making Foundation. So these girls, these interns, our first pilot, they actually learned all these design thinking and 3D printing skill set, and they came up with these fab designs. So Ishita, one of my interns at the Art of Making, she helped us fabricate the intricate details, and these designs are made using Fusion 360. I'm sure a lot of mechanical engineers out there, or designers and students, you must be familiar with this software. That once you make a mold or once you make a simple design, you also see a 3D logo there. Then there is a process of jewelry making. You can make your cast. The first thing is the 3D printed mold, which is possible because 3D printing can directly print designs. And then, as you see, there's a Buddha necklace there. So that's an intricate design that was designed by one of the interns, Shweta. And then we made the silverware piece out of it. And the same thing, there's a lot of, I would say, talent within the local culture here. I never knew about mandala. Like you see, there's a mandala art picture. And one of the girls, she was in 12th grade and she was obsessed with mandala. Like she showed me all her paintings. And I just had a simple question: can we make something tangible out of it that people can possibly wear or show off? And then the whole idea of making a mandala jewelry. So we also did a silver jewelry out of just like imagination has no limit. And once you know a technology like 3D printing, you can definitely make your dreams possible. So we are making more such designs, and we love people to have all these ideas because you can make anything using 3D printing. Okay. So why am I talking about design thinking and why is it important? So this is a generic template, but simple thing is when you're using design thinking, it's a mentality, it's a mindset that whenever you design, you have to empathize as to what you're making. If I am making something for the community and it is a disaster supply, like if everybody is dying out of COVID, I am going to make something which is important at the moment to the community around me. So that is why empathy is the first key factor. The second thing is defining. If I am in need of a mask, I have to define what my problem statement is. How big of a mask do I need to make for someone who's choking? How big of a mask do I need to make for someone who's having diarrhea? So these are the materials. The third thing is ideating. Okay, even if I decide to make a mask, is it going to be effective? Will it have the right kind of filters in it? Is it going to be comparable to N95? So we went through all those discussions, like the entire maker community was sitting there and just brainstorming different ways as to how we can make something as effective in a very short amount of time and something that the doctors could possibly use as a protection. So we came up with this concept of impart. So that is where I asked, because it has to be effective, and plus it has to be customized to everybody's face type. So that's the third thing, ideation. The fourth thing was prototype. And having a 3D printer definitely gives you the liberty to prototype all your ideas whenever you want it. So we could make the prototype of mask, 4 or 5 of those, and then test it out at the hospitals and see if it was working for us. So that's why prototyping is somewhere where you can tweak your designs, where you can change the tolerances and fits and make the design that is most apt for you. And the last and the best thing is testing it out, where you get feedback. So my doctor, if he's wearing the mask and then he tells me, okay, this is approved, it works out, that is how design thinking has helped me carry this forward. So with this mindset, that has helped us come up with making disaster relief supplies at the times of the most impossible things happening. We have also utilized it for something very interesting, which is tribal arts and crafts. So last year when I came back from US and we started this foundation, I have been traveling quite a lot. And one of the states that I've extensively visited rural livelihoods and villages has been Odisha. Odisha in India is also known as India's most unkept secret. People don't know about it, but it's a beautiful place, very lush, green, and you'd be blown away. If you come here for a meditation trip, you just absolutely love the silence of this place. And along with that, the culture that the tribes of this village, and whenever I would walk I would see that on the gate, and it was very fascinating as to what that meant. And it was so unique. And I mean, wherever I went, I just kept clicking so many pictures to a point I got obsessed that this is tribal arts and crafts. I never knew Odisha had a history of that. And the biggest thing that I also realized was people don't talk so much about their culture as much as they should. And that is one reason why we don't have so much of crafts that are exotic or crafts that come from the heart or from the soul of a tribal artist. And while I was in Puri, a village close to Puri, that's where I had the chance to meet a couple of artisans, and they showed what different things they made. They made local pottery. They made some nice Jagannath balls, which were made out of recyclable materials like cardboard and some body tribal arts. And I was blown away that, there's so much talent, but I have never seen something like this. And what is keeping them from making such amazing things? In fact, there's another picture you see over there, which is Patta Chitra artwork. And it's amazing how detailed the artwork is. I'd encourage, if you guys are touring India, please visit Puri and Pipli village. They have these amazing artists over there who are artists from generations, and they use natural colors from the mountains, and paint using that on a patta, like the sari's patta. And there's a lot of things that you can explore. So what I found was, I mean, these things exist, but there is no relation, there's no connection between them. I mean, somebody does it at their end, somebody does it at their end. So it's like a committee of women and help them secure a means of livelihood. Empower women with this capability. We saw them making these soaps. These soaps were ordinary, regular, nothing so fancy about it. So, using design intervention or design thinking, what I suggested there was, they have to be proud of their culture. The first and foremost thing is ownership of where you belong, who you are. I mean, we all have that dilemma, or we might have faced it at some point of time. But if you're making a product and if you want it to sell well in the market, you have to be proud of it, one, and that pride should show in your product. So one of the things was missing was the tribal heritage in their designs, and that is also due to limitation of designing, that you can just fabricate so and so molds, whatever is available with whatever resources and money you have. So in this case, they were making a soap, but I couldn't smell the soap in the soap. Like, to me, if you are making a soap, it has to have natural essence in it. If I come from the Himalayas, I'd smell aloe vera in my soap. And if you're near a coast, you will smell lavender. I would suggest you have coconut in it, or something that is a local produce and it goes in the ingredient, so that you get the wow factor. So that's one of the other things I suggested, that they should have that in the consistency or in the composition of the soap. And I would and the thing is, branding is one thing we miss out on, and that is like putting our value proposition forward. How do we put the soap out there? Okay, it's a soap. How is it different? How is it unique? Okay, it's a soap which is handcrafted by tribals and it has the essence of the tribals. So these are things that you have to tell the buyer or the person who is, looking at you and planning to buy things from you. So there's a whole bunch of things. And what I say is, design thinking is not just limited to making boxes and shapes. It's a whole mindset that you have to use when you're making a product from scratch. And the last but not the least is, once you have the product ready with everything suggested, with the right design, with the right content, with the right material, last thing is finding the reliable marketing linkages. Okay, I have this exotic product. Where do I sell it now? Okay, since it is exotic and people who love flavors, probably why not try out the airports, or maybe have a city heart or village heart where you can display this. So this is one of our experimental projects which we are working on with the artisan. And after doing a couple of changes, worked is making different kind of molds, making different kind of designs. So all those different things can be fabricated using design thinking and 3D printing. You can brand it using the logo of the buyer or the wholesaler, or just the tribal brand on it. And on the left, you also see a lot of block paints, or the blocks that can be printed out in different camel shapes, or the jewel of a woman, or just the tribals. And you use those blocks as impingements on either like sari, or just making molds, simple molds for diyas or agarbattis, or just the soap itself. So you use those designs, you make those molds, and then the final product that comes out is something as artisans get the word out in the right, designing different ways and shapes and making this eco-friendly. Okay, a process. I mean, from the start till the very end until you that is there. So the second thing that we are also focusing on as part of our work is training. As we mentioned, on-site training. We've taken Australian task to empower women in design thinking and 3D printing. And we have taken this task virtually. We've been doing that since this entire year. So we've reached 4 states in India, 11 countries, and 200 students across the globe. And thanks a lot to our entire team who worked their heart out to spread this innovation and education as much as possible. So these pictures are from the current school. This is the on-site training we are doing with the girls here, design, tinkering, and learn. Anybody who aspires to be an artist. So it's just that opening their horizons through use of simple open source design softwares and printing them out. Giveaways and gifts for Christmas. That's one of the things that really puts these guys together to do all these hands-on work. And we want to continue doing more and more of these things. So in fact, for 2022, part of the reason we are also doing this conference is to fundraise for these girls, and show them that after 10th grade you don't have to drop out or get married. There is always a way, and education is the way. So we are and how we can students to learn. So yeah, we want to do more and more and help us achieve it. If you guys want to contribute to our cause, please feel free to reach out. And yeah, as always, I always like to mention that this whole group over here, it's a family. It's a family across the globe, because we are united in our passion and in our mission to help and it is just empowering to keep growing this mission, to keep can help them where talent proceeds over anything else. And these girls in the rural village, they have a lot of talent but not much opportunity. So that is why I'm here trying to do my bit. And I definitely encourage you guys to do your bit as you go along your journey. And if you need any help, please feel free to let me know. Yes, we're organizing this Make It conference for the first time, so I'm very thankful that this is going good. The internet did not break on me, so I think I'll be up in a few minutes. So I think I'll be up in a few minutes. If you guys have a couple of minutes, anybody has any questions, feel free to ping. Contribute to our Milap campaign. Those of you who have, Swati, if you could share a link for that, that would be
Yes.
amazing.
Absolutely. And I'm really, really proud, to be a team of such an organization where you really get to do work, at grassroots level. Who would have, thought about it, going to the rural villages and implementing those kind of projects with young girls? It's tough. I know you're having a tough time with your internet and the basic things which you are managing on your own. It's really tough. And
Yeah.
I am proud of you, Shweta, for pulling out such an incredible project in Orissa for us and literally training 50 odd girls there for the Atom Making Foundation. We have a team of incredible people. They are really passionate about 3D printing and they really want to bring a change in this community via helping and developing skill set for our younger generation, for upcoming generation. I guess we still have a couple of minutes before our networking sessions. I would request all the attendees to put in your questions here in the chat box. If you have any questions to ask, feel free to reach out to Shweta. Shweta, can you please put down your LinkedIn? Thank you so much, Shailesh. This is what we are doing, and we are encouraging people, to help us and then help us reach out to such rural, villages of India. So, thank you so much, everyone. Help find sponsors for rural initiative. Yes, this is something which we are looking forward to. We need more hands to join in for this cause.